I felt like someone almost like lifted up the top of my head and just released some pressure, and my depression was just like, it was just gone.
Yeah, you came here for Iboga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the situation that brought you here?
I think everything. I don't think I think when I found out about Iboga and what it was, there just like didn't seem to be like any thought in my mind that it wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually that hopeful about most things. Yeah.
And it was the pain you were dealing with. Can you talk a little bit about the pain and how that you experienced that?
Yeah. I was in a car accident 4 years ago now. And my lower half was kind of crushed into a vehicle. We got T-boned. And then like I developed, like, my body's reaction was just to develop chronic pain. And it basically, I, like, began to degenerate. Like, I had nerve problems in my legs, in my face, problems with the disc in my back. I had to have hip surgery. And then just, like, so many other health issues. I just kept going to doctors, and they just kept prescribing me more medications in hopes of fixing it.
What medications were they?
So many. I was on benzo for sleeping. They had me on mood stabilizers. They had me on oxys, like a lot of oxys. Baclofen. So many of them. Yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 26.
Right. So if you hadn't come and done Iboga, and we'll talk more about the pain and how that helps you with your pain relief, what would your future look like, you know, with the doctor's recommendations?
Honestly, just keep taking the medication.
Yeah.
And more doctors, and if you want that doctor to take you seriously, then there's pressure for you to try their medication.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, yeah, what I've been following for years.
Right. How did the medications make you feel, like mentally and physically, emotionally?
I felt like a basket case, because like your body's trying to, I think like I was trying to cycle through hormones, and I was trying to cycle through like pain management, and then I was trying to cycle through like every medication you put in your body has its own life cycle. So even if you can't feel it that well, you're still taking it, going to withdrawal on some level, and then you're returning. And when you have all these different patterns in your body and all these medications taking you to different places, it was just like a complete, like, I was a basket case. I couldn't focus. I was having like adult temper tantrums, lots and lots of rage, which I hadn't experienced since I was like very young. Pretty much just the worst side of myself, like that I knew existed. Like I was like shocking myself every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could say that the medications were like just dragging you down into a pit that you felt like there was no way out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, like for 26 years old, it's not any future really. You can look at it like that, right? Well, now you've done Iboga 4 times with us, which is pretty wild. Can you tell us about that experience and how that's helped with the issues that you came with?
Yeah, well, the first time I came here, it was to detox, and detoxing was really, really shitty. And then doing the Iboga while detoxing, I realized I was experiencing Iboga detox, I guess. I thought that that's what Iboga was like. That's not what it's like. That's what it's like. You have like a lot of junk in your system. So that was like, it was a very powerful experience, and I couldn't make sense of much of anything but this one moment. I felt like someone had almost like lifted up the top of my head and just released some pressure, and my depression was just like, it was just gone. Like, wow. The next day I was like, okay. So that was like mind blowing.
That's amazing.
Was really bad.
Yeah. So you felt like this like pressure lift off your head, and can you explain like the thoughts that now go through your head in the morning when you wake up, or the fact that you don't have the pain in your body? Like, how is your mind different?
It's so much different because I can like get back to me. Like, I can be present, like with my partner, with my family, and not just be on edge all the time. Yeah. But yeah, it feels like I've been like reborn. Wow. It's just like, here's a new version of yourself. Yeah.
Cool. So, your pain, your physical pain, tell us about how the Iboga has helped you with that and how you feel now.
I can't even wrap my head around it because, and I have a hard time with my doctors, with anyone wanting to explain it to them, because if I'm like, I just went and did this and it took my pain away, it almost discredits getting diagnosed with chronic pain, which if like anyone has that, it's really hard, because it's just trust, really. Doctors can't prove it, but it just seems like, it just seems like to me like a magic pill, and I'm always like, there's no magic pills in life, but I think Iboga might have been a little bit. Like, the pain was just gone. Yeah. It blew my mind.
So now, like, say, like, you're standing up, talking, you have your foot kind of, like, hand down a bit. Your foot's, like, on your knee there, doing kind of like a yoga tree pose. How would you be, like, in the past, if you were just standing like this talking to me for 5 minutes? Would you be able to? You'd be sitting, you wouldn't be able to stand.
I'd be sitting, and I'd be on medication.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the fact that you've taken the energy to come in and do this medicine, and that you trusted in the process and you worked through it, I mean, like, you don't need anyone else to tell you that what your experience was real, because you know it for yourself. Is there any words of advice for somebody on the edge of using Iboga to get off their pain meds, and that are in their mid-20s, that are just like going down a tunnel that there's no end, that you would say to them?
I'd say go do Iboga. I think there wasn't one, there's not a lot of resources, at least on the internet, out there about Iboga, and when I decided to do Iboga, I heard that there was like very small chance that it could remove pain. Now I'm realizing, and I talk to people who do Iboga, that that's completely untrue, but that's what I found online. And even with all that doubt, like, I still knew it was the right thing. So I think that if you're feeling drawn to Iboga, you should just go with it. So there's probably a strong reason.
Cool. And about the spiritual aspects of your journey, or anything that you've taken from the Bwiti truths that we've shared with you, is there something you can talk about, like how Iboga could influence your life moving forward after this pain has been eradicated?
Well, I think like Iboga, like, it's not as much influencing my life as it kind of almost like is my life. Like, it's just giving me this life. So yeah, and I think like it was repeated so many times that like a lot of the Bwiti philosophy is just like so simple, and so like any mental tangent will pull you right out of Iboga, but like any reality check will pull you back in. That makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Like your thoughts create your reality. And what was it you said in our circle just recently? Mark asked you, how are you going to make your choices?
I said I'd make the choices that, I choose what makes me happy.
Yeah, and that's how you're going to create your life moving forward.
Yeah. Iboga helped me heal my pain, and now I'm living pain-free without medication.
Wow, right on. So go, have a lust for life and rock on. Cool. Thank you.